Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite NBA player prop picks. Today we're talking Friday, March 21st. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm going to have 5 NBA player prop picks for you guys to lock in for tonight's NBA betting slate. Pretty big slate that we have on tap for tonight. So 5 plays that I'm pretty confident in. Only 2 of those 5 are plus money bangers because that's just kind of how the board fell. Hopefully we don't get burned by having a bunch of non-plus money bangers, but I really like the 5 plays that we had, so hopefully we can have a good night tonight. To do a recap from yesterday, one of the weirdest betting days that I've ever had, which has somehow happened twice this season. So initially, I gave out on this YouTube channel Luka over 8.5 first quarter points. He gets ruled out. I gave out Damian Lillard over 6.5 assists. He gets ruled out. I give out LaMelo Ball 25 plus points. He cashes, albeit barely, but that still counts as a win. Now, once Luka got ruled out, I pivoted to Austin Reeves rebounds because Austin Reeves has a great hit rate without Luka and LeBron, and honestly, a great hit rate without LeBron. And guess what? Austin Reeves gets ruled out. And then separately, the sportsbooks released odds for Orlando Robinson rebounds. Not even bother listing him here. But Orlando Robinson rebounds, he ends up not playing coach's decision. So 4 guys yesterday that we had bets on did not play. In terms of the bets that actually happened, LaMelo Ball cashed. I had a late ad of Keon Johnson PRA. I really liked the look. Didn't even come close. I should have just held off on that. I think that now makes it 15, maybe even 45 straight late ads that have lost. I've just been brutal when I decide to add a play late. Maybe that just should be a sign that I should just stick with my morning gut. But normally my morning gut is just coffee wrecking my system. Anyways, on the entire season. So I guess I should say yesterday we were up literally a tenth of a unit. So again, let me know how you're going to spend your money. I think that now makes us up. We had one night we were up a quarter of a unit. Another night up a tenth of a unit, making a lot of money. Either way, on the entire season, we're up 26.58 units. That's all right. We're up 4.81% ROI. That's also all right. Nothing that fantastic. Hopefully, I'm really hoping we can go on a run to end this regular season. In the month of March, things started well, and then have really not gone well after that start, up a tenth or 0.2 units in the month of March. But hey, after October, somehow we've been profitable every single month. It's just not nearly the same profit that we saw last year, as you can tell. Now, I need to stop worrying about last year because we just haven't been able to replicate that. But anyways, we can move on to today's bangers. I have Props Madness up on the screen here, my favorite NBA betting tool. Make sure to check out Props Madness if you have not already. I put a link to them in the description of the video, as well as the pinned comment. The other link that I want you to check out in the video is for a sportsbook that I've recently partnered with called NoVig. I like to call it Go Fishing. NoVig is basically, it's an exchange, but what I really like about it is you can request odds. So if there's a play that you like, a play that I give out, that the odds are no longer available, you can go to NoVig and try and request those odds, and then someone has to match it on the other side. So you're always able to get the odds that you want if you're playing on NoVig. Now, the risk is that if someone doesn't match it, then you end up not getting that play. You just get your money back. That's kind of how it works. I put up a screenshot here of all the states that NoVig is available. I know I am partnered with them, but the reason why is because I really do believe it's a good product. For someone like me that's really conscious about making sure I get the best odds, or someone like me that's limited on a lot of the sports books, none of that stuff is an issue on NoVig. So I reached out to them because I wanted a partnership, because that's how I feel about using that book. So check out NoVig. They're only available in the US. So if you're not in the US, unfortunately, you can't use them, but I think they're phenomenal anyways. The first official bet that we have here is in this Rockets versus Heat game. And I took Fred VanVleet and I took him on the assist. Now, this is one of my favorite plays because it's got a terrible recent hit rate. 10 of his last 24 games. It goes last 10 games. It's only 3 of his last 10. Really, really not good. Now, a couple times he landed on 5 assists, like this one, 5 and 11. You more often than not, if he's getting 11 assists, he's going over 5.5. Another 5 and 11, kind of similar concept here. And then also 5 and 11. So 3 times he's had a bad conversion rate, which is not something that you would expect game over game. In terms of the odds, this was at plus 124 at DraftKings. This was the official bet that I gave out. I would still take it at this number. I tried to get, since DraftKings has me limited, I tried to go fishing and get this at plus 124 at NoVig. But if you can't use DraftKings, I would still take it at plus 115. Like, that's my backup, is the plus 115 at Bet365. Couple reasons why I really like this play. Number one is the matchup. The Miami Heat are a team you want to target for point guard assist props. As you can see, 11 of 14 guys, specifically with the same playmaking style as Fred VanVleet, have hit their assist prop over. That includes Cade Cunningham, who one of the rare bets that we have won this week was Cade Cunningham. We cashed this out. James Harden, a week prior to that, cashed 11 assists, and then Tyrese Halliburton before that. What I like is that if you look at since the All-Star break, it's 4 of 5. And the only one that missed was Trae Young, who had 14 one night, played them 2 nights later, only had 8. So it's like one of those weird situations where they have a back-to-back game against each other. But I really like the fact that, again, they've been getting smoked since the All-Star break. Even with the new roster, no Jimmy, add in Andrew Wiggins, nothing's really changed. We do have a history. These two teams played each other earlier this year. Fred VanVleet, not only did he cash the over 5.5 assists, so that green equals good. Look how many potential assists he had. He had 14. He only converted 6 of them. So it's like a lot of examples of him having a bad conversion ratio on his potential assists. But on the year, like he averages 5.6 assists on the year. His average in terms of potential assists is 11.1. So more often than not, like he's hovering around that 5.5 assist number with 11 potential assists. And then last game, he had 6 assists on 14 potential assists. I also like the fact that Amen Thompson is most likely back in the lineup. His assists and potentials are slightly up in games with Amen Thompson. Like you look at the season with Amen Thompson, his assist number goes up to 5.9, so slightly more. His potential assist goes up to 11.7, slightly more. You look at games without Amen Thompson, granted it hasn't been a ton, but his assist goes down to 4.4, potential assists down to 8.4. So it's like a difference of almost 3 potential assists and a little bit like an assist and a half in terms of that. So I really like this one for Fred VanVleet. Now, Amen Thompson is listed as probable. Who knows how much he's going to play, but he is back, which I think is helpful. So this was my first and official bet for today. Fred VanVleet, plus 124 odds for the over 5.5 assists. This is one of the 2 plus money bangers. Next up, nothing in these first couple games because they're disgusting. Nothing in this Pistons versus Mavericks game because that's disgusting. Celtics versus Jazz, you guys already know where I'm going here. It's the first quarter king. It's Kristaps Porzingis over 5.5 first quarter points. Wow, it's at plus 115 now. It was plus 110 at ESPN Bet. Now it's up to plus 115. Look at that compared to everywhere else. Minus 120 at Flip, minus 150 at Bet365, minus 140 at Hard Rock. And DraftKings has it at 6.5 for minus money. Now, if you can't use ESPN Bet or you're like me and you're heavily limited at ESPN Bet, I was able to get this at minus 110 at Flip. That unfortunately bumped to minus 120. I would either go fishing on one of the on No Big, see if you can get maybe not plus 115 but plus 110. If not, I would wait because Bet365 is most likely going to bump this up to 5.5 for probably around even money. It was minus 130 when I woke up. Now it's minus 150. So it's moving in the direction you're probably going to be able to get 5.5. So obviously Kristaps Porzingis, first quarter king. We all know that. 18 of his last 24 games, and it's really 17 of his last 21 games. 81% to the over in this stretch, averaging 7.6 points in the first quarter. Last game, since he came back from that illness, he's only played 7 minutes in the first quarters, but he cashed it into like the first 3 minutes of this last game, playing 7 minutes. Now he's probably going to play a little bit more than 7 minutes moving forward. He's probably going to go back to like between the 8 and the 10 mark, which is what he normally plays, averaging 8.3 minutes in this stretch. But we see games with 10, and then some games where he's a little bit low, that 6 and 6. But more often than not, it's going to play between 8 and 10. Even 7, he's cashed. The matchup against the Jazz is really good. 7 of 8 guys, similar to Kristaps Porzingis in terms of their scoring profile, have hit the over. Now, this is obviously looking at the full game, but guys like Kristaps Porzingis start fast. So in good matchups, I like to target him in the first quarter specifically. We also have no Jaylen Brown, who is still out for this game. Now, he's only played like 6 games without Jaylen Brown. And one of them, he only played 5 minutes in the first quarter, so that one's a little bit of an outlier. In the other games, it's over in 4 or 5, and he's still averaging about 5.5 points in the first quarter as well. In this game, the 5 minutes you kind of take out because that's an outlier, so we take that one out. It's averaging 6.2 hit in 4 of 5. So a lot of reasons to like this play, backing Kristaps Porzingis, our first quarter king. This is our second play of the video as well, and also our second plus money banger. So the other ones are all minus money from here, but I still really do like the remaining plays that we have. In 5 total means that we go 3 and 2 and we make money. Next up, I have a play that you guys are probably not going to like, but I'm taking Donovan Mitchell and I'm taking him on the points. So you can get over 25.5 at minus 105 at both Hard Rock and Fanatics. You can also get it at minus 106 at FanDuel. I went fishing, tried to get this at plus 100, which I do think I'll be able to get because this opened at 24.5. So I think that somebody probably will take the 25.5 at plus money. I get that people are probably sick of Donovan Mitchell. It's still just too low of a number. So you look at his last 5 games. It's over in only one of those 5. Disgusting games here. Just look at his shooting splits. 24 points, 6 of 19 from the field, 0 of 6 from deep. Now, I got to the line 18 times, which is absolutely absurd, but terrible shooting splits, and even went 12 of 18 from the free throw line. Next game, 4 of 15 from the field, 1 of 7 from deep. Next game, 9 of 28 from the field, 3 of 14 from deep. I bet him in this game. I know exactly how bad he shot. Next game, 5 of 18, 2 of 9 from deep. Finally, a decent scoring game, 26 points, but still, 8 of 17 from the field is okay, but 1 of 6 from deep is terrible. Like, you add all that up, he hasn't been able to make any of his 3-pointers recently, and that's just not going to continue game over game. He's not going to want to keep shooting terribly. Also, just for a scorer as good as Donovan Mitchell, positive regression is going to come. Now, I thought it was going to happen in this game, and I was wrong. I didn't bet it. I thought it would have happened in this game. I was wrong. And while he did hit the point prop over, I'm not really going to pretend that the positive regression ended. So eventually, it's going to start swinging back the other way for Donovan Mitchell. I'm incredibly confident in that. And if there was ever a matchup to do it, it would be against this Phoenix Suns team. Like, you look at them, only 4 of 8 guys similar to his scoring profile. Donovan Mitchell did score 33 against them earlier this year. The most recent one, Jalen Green put up 29 against them. You look at the guard position in general, 9 of 15 have hit their over. And they've allowed some big performances to guys that have the ball in their hands a lot. 24 points to Kobe White, 28 points to Austin Reeves. Now, he and Luka both cooked the Suns in this matchup. Jalen Green, again, 29 points. John Morant, 29 points. You look at the play types. Play type number 1, pick and roll ball handler. Donovan Mitchell scores among the most in the NBA. Out of the pick and roll, 6th most. Transition, another 17% of Donovan Mitchell's points, 4th most. Even free throws, Mitchell does a good job getting to the line. They're bottom average. They're bottom half below average in terms of their foul rate as well. And guys like going against the Phoenix Suns. They like cooking Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and they have a really, really easy matchup to do so. They have bad guard defenders, and the drop coverage played by Budenholzer leads to themselves getting smoked by these types of guards. So I really like this one for Donovan Mitchell. I understand why people are scared off of it because he's just shot horribly and people think that he's just kind of checked out of the regular season. I promise you he's going to want to get his form right heading into the playoffs. So I'm still cool with this one. I like the Donovan Mitchell point prop over. Next up, I do have a play here in the Nuggets versus Blazers. I went with Deni Avdija, and I went with him on the assist. Now, so this number actually moved. I went over 4.5 at minus 125. Unfortunately, that has now moved to minus 145, minus 135 at Hard Rock. Right now, if I'm playing it, because unfortunately, you guys watching this video, the odds moved. I went fishing. I tried to get this at minus 120. I think I will be able to get it. You can also, if you don't have access to those going fishing, what I like to call it, take 6+ for a half unit. That's how I would play it with the current odds. But I really like this play for Deni Avdija. The biggest thing here is that there's no Jeremy Grant. He's technically listed as doubtful, so he's probably not going to play unless the NBA pulls some shenanigans and he gets ruled in after being doubtful. But you look at games with and without Jeremy Grant, and his assist rate is dramatically different. So we're going to start in games with. Let's start with the bad first. So on the entire season, we look at games with Jeremy Grant. He's only gone over 4.5 assists in 12 of 44 games, a 27% hit rate. He's averaging 3.3 assists per game. His potential assists, that's what we're looking for, 7.3 in games with Jeremy Grant. Now let's look at him without Jeremy Grant, and let's look at how dramatically different that is. Now, it's only a 50% hit rate, but 27% to 50% is very good. He averages about 5 assists per game in these games without Jeremy Grant, and his potential assist goes from like 7 point something up to 9.8. So it's like a dramatic difference. Now, at the beginning of the year, it was kind of hit or miss in terms of his assists, but the run really started like right here. It's 8 of his last 12 games without Jeremy Grant, and his potential assists go up to 10.7. So all that stuff looks a lot better. And what I like is that he's been playing more recently. Like, you look at his last 10 games, not even without Jeremy Grant, just in general, he's averaging 32 minutes per game. So it's not like he's not playing for the Jazz or for the Raptors or for the Wizards, who are just not playing their guys anymore. And this one game where he only played 6 minutes, he got hurt in the first quarter. So you take that game out, just to show you his last 10 games where he didn't get injured, almost 34 minutes per game. So I really like this one. In terms of the matchup, it's a really good matchup against a Nuggets team that is literally number one in terms of assists allowed. You go down the board here, you see a lot of green, and that's all relating to assists. So assists allowed 30th. Defensive rank versus DAZ, so how they guard the assist zone, where the majority of his assists come from, the restricted area, 5th most. D rank versus position. This is just looking at the guard or the forward position in general, which is what he's listed at. We see that they gave up the 7th most. I don't put a ton into defensive rank versus position unless they're a point guard or a center, because the other positions are kind of nebulous. But we see the graph here. Their worst spot, or I should say their best spot, is the above the break 3, and they're still bottom 10. You look at recently the last 10 games. So we look at their last 10 games. No, not last 9, last 10 games. They've gotten slightly better on the assists. They're down to like 23rd. We see 23rd in terms of opponent assists allowed. They're averaging 28.4 assists against them per game. But if you just look at that 28.4 number and you compare that to the entire season, it would be like the 5th or 6th worst. So yeah, they're not like 30th out of 30 bad, but they're still below average. They're still bottom 10. And I also like the fact, so we've seen 2 games with against the Nuggets, specifically without Jeremy Grant. So we have 2 games to go off of with this in mind. Now, it's only over in one of those 2 games, averaging 10.5 potential assists per game. It's one really good where he had 8 assists on 14 potential assists. And then it's one really bad where he only had 7 potentials. Obviously, we're hoping for more than 7 potential assists. Like, we want more than that. But look at that conversion rate, 1 out of 7. That's a terrible, terrible conversion ratio. Like, if he's getting 7 assists, he should probably have closer to like 3 or 4 actual assists, which makes this look a little bit more palatable if you're going to bet it. So the Deni Avdija assist, I really like this one. Unfortunately, the odds moved in the last 10 minutes from when I bet it and sent it out to my Tails account versus when I actually hit record. Like, as you can see here, this was the screenshot I sent over, and I sent this not that long ago. And just to show you the screen here, this is where I send all my plays out. We'll talk about this in a little bit, but it was at minus 125. Now, I went fishing for minus 120, but whenever I give out a play, I always track everything, not the going fishing number, because that isn't really fair for people that can't bet it. But anyways, that was our 4th bet. Our 5th and final pick of the video, I actually went with an under. You know, I told myself that I was going to bet more unders every time I logged in to actually place a bet. I never actually did it. My mind just gravitates towards the overs. And if I find 3 to 4 overs that I like, then I'll just bet those and I won't even look into an under. I understand that I need to be better at that. And I like this one on Harden under a lot. So the number here is under 22.5 points. I got it at minus 115. The best offered price is at Bet Rivers right now at minus 112. Now, obviously, Bet Rivers, I don't even know if, like, they're basically not even a real sportsbook anymore. But between these two, I would even take it down to minus 120 as well. I don't really have any issues with that. The biggest thing with James Harden, with Norm Powell, with Kawhi Leonard, his scoring drops dramatically, averaging 20.7 points per game with those 2 guys in the lineup, 5 of 17 to the over. That's really, really low. I also like, it's a tough matchup. Only 2 of 11 guys with Harden's scoring profile specifically have hit their over against the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, on paper, it doesn't look like a tough matchup. We see a lot of green, a lot of green here for how Harden scores, except for the isolation part. And that's important. Obviously, 32% of his points come via ISO, as do a lot of these guys, which is why they're similar to James Harden. But this pick and roll ball handler number is a little bit misleading. The Grizzlies are basically like, hey, the number one option who had, like, their point guard who has the ball in his hands a ton, he's not going to score against us. They're going to do everything they can to not let that guy score. So the secondary players are the ones that have a lot of success against the Memphis Grizzlies. I actually got that note from Josh Lander, who mentioned that about the Grizzlies and why this number is a little bit misleading. So shout out Josh at Land Your Bets. So that's why the guard position, even though 5 of 15 is still pretty low, it's a little bit better than 2 of 11, of course. Now, this number is going to feel scary because if you just look at how Harden has played recently, he's been cooking, averaging 27 almost points per game in his last 10, 7 of 10 to the over. Well, guess who's missed the majority of these games? Norman Powell. Games with Norman Powell, we see that's not nearly as good to the over. And then the biggest thing here is with Norman Powell and with Kawhi Leonard, which, as I mentioned, I think it was 17 games, only 5 of 17 to the over. So I really like this. I really like this one for James Harden and for his point prop under. Again, under 22.5 is the official bet that I took. I like his assists over as well. 8.5 is super juiced that I'm not touching. So if I were to bet it, I would go 9.5. The reason why I didn't bet it was I'm just scared off of his potential assists like his last 10 games, even with him, yeah, that's 6 of 10 to the over is awesome. He's missed it in 3 straight, which normally if he missed it in 3 straight, I'd be like, perfect. That makes me want to bet it even more. But 13 potential assists, 9 potential assists, and then a good one, 19. So like if he gets 19, then I would feel good about this 10 potential assist number. In 2 games against the Grizzlies, which is another reason why I was scared off, only 11 potentials, and then 16 is okay. 16 is much better. Now the 16 number, both Kawhi and Powell were in. So if you think that's more likely of what he's going to get, that makes a lot more sense. His potential assists are a little bit low and a little bit scary for me. But if you wanted to go like under points over assists, I don't think that's a terrible SGP. Hopefully he doesn't go off with points and assists, and then my lean cashes in my official bet doesn't. But this is our 5th and final pick of the video, James Harden under 22.5 points. I appreciate everybody for watching. Real quick, I'll do a recap of the 5 plays that we have. It's Deni Avdija over 4.5 assists, -125. It's James Harden under 22.5 points, -115. Donovan Mitchell over 25.5 points, -105. KP over 5.5 first quarter points, +110. And Fred VanVleet over 5.5 assists, +124. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to check out Props Madness. I just walked through how I use them. Make sure to check out No Big if they're available in your state. I cannot recommend them enough. If you sign up, I put a link in the description and the promo code. If you use Jedi, the promo code, that would help me out a lot. I would just get a little bit of a affiliate deal there. But if you don't want to do that for me, that's totally fine. And then the last thing I'll mention, which I kind of mentioned already, is this is where I send all my plays out. It's called Tails through Odd Shopper. All the plays that I bet, I send out first to Tails, so people are able to get the odds that I lock in before they change, like this Deni Avdija one at -125. Another thing that's cool was if they pull the odds, I can send this out directly through the app. So all you need to do is just click this place bet or click this bet button, and then it takes you to that. So like Fred VanVleet, luckily is still at +124. So you can go bet that right now. It was the same thing with Mitchell. Again, I went fishing to get this at +100, but -105, you click place bet and it's there. Sometimes the odds don't always pull. So I just send it out like this, when I'm playing the units, the odds, all that good stuff. But that's all we got. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out the links in the description of the video. Everybody that chooses me, I'm appreciative of you because I know that there's a lot of ways you could get the stuff that I give out. So again, I'm always thankful of the people that choose me. Make sure to bet responsibly and have a good one.